checking the forecast, things looking crazy. A storm on the horizon, the pressure is low. Gotta get moving, put on a show. The news is all buzzing, state of alert, but we've got a plan, we're ready to work. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. See a little fire or a rising flood, we're a well-oiled machine, we're running in the mud. From the city hall meetings to the rescue teams, turning worst case scenarios into hopeful dreams. We're training the people, stocking the gear, we're the team you can count on when trouble is near. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. It's more than a job, it's a calling, you see. Prepared for the present and what's yet to be. Every second counts, we're ready to react for our communities. We're making an impact. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. Yeah, we're picking you up, we're ready to go. EMA, let's get this show on the road.
Let's get this show on the road, guys. This is Emergency Management Associates, guys. We are on the air for you 24/7. And whenever things happen, we come on the air anyway to tell you what's going on. That's what we do, guys. My name's Ron Tyler, the president of Emergency Management Associates. We're here right now for you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. Guys, we have a lot to talk about today, right now. We have a lot of things to talk about. Last night I put out a message on my post on our community page on YouTube saying the U.S. went into Iran and attacked some vital structures, some vital infrastructures. That did happen, okay? We have confirmation of it. However, President Trump is on the air right now conducting a news conference saying if Iran doesn't get on board and surrender and open up the Strait of Hormuz completely, that he's going to attack again. And this time, it's going to be a 4-hour attack. And this time, Iran will be demolished. Now, there are some people that put out the headline on their YouTube channels of this news conference and other things that they have on that the U.S. is going to drop a nuke on Iran. That is entirely false. We have no confirmation of that at all. That needs to be taken as false information. President Trump right now, I don't believe, has any ambition of dropping a nuke anywhere, including on Iran. I want to make that very clear right now. Yes, President Trump, as of 8 p.m. Eastern Time tonight, if the tables don't come in right, we're going to attack Iran for at least 4 hours. up to and including 4 hours, possibly longer. Israel's also going to be there. Israel's been taking bombs, missiles from Iran continually. Okay? Iran bombed out, launched a missile or several missiles at an Israeli site where they had oil, where they had gas tankers, big, huge gas tanks sitting on the ground, and Iran took out one of their facilities. Okay? That's in violation also of the agreements. Okay? But Iran doesn't care. Right now, according to President Trump, Iran is at the negotiating tables, and he believes Iran is negotiating in good faith at this minute. If that doesn't change, if they don't come to all the sanctions that the United States wants, then all is over in Iran. All will be over in Iran. Now, I saw a news conference earlier today that President Trump on Easter Sunday said Iran would be turned into hell. Someone said, a news media said, and you can't believe anything news media say, but the news media said Trump swore on Easter Sunday. All Trump said that Iran would be turned into hell. That is a direct quote. That is a direct quote, guys. Okay? So I'm going to leave it there. Now, someone also last night questioned my putting up that blurb on our community page that was I sure it happened? Yes, I am sure. I had two solid sources. Two solid sources, guys. Anyway, getting beyond that, things are happening. Things are happening around the world. Okay? Now, oil prices went up drastically today. Oil prices went up drastically. Now, I said last night on my blurb after I told you about the attack on Iran that things are going to change. I'm hoping that all of you have taken my admonition for the last 7 years that you're going to be prepared. We want everybody to be prepared. I'm going to say that straight out. That's been our main motive on this channel, is to make sure people are prepared for whatever disaster or emergency that you might face. That is absolutely a necessity. Okay? Just say that straight up. That's the impetus of this channel totally. Yes, we talk about emergencies, we talk about disasters, we also talk about emergency preparedness, saving your own lives. Saving your own lives, guys. That is the key here. Saving our lives so that we can live another day. Okay, I'm going to be straight up with you. That's why we're on this channel. Nobody else does this like we do. Nobody else does this at all like we do. We talk about everything. Okay? Just to be straight up with you. We talk about everything. We're going to continue talking about everything. Period. Always. Now, guys, I know that when I start talking about preparedness, you guys turn me off. I understand that. But I want to put this information out there. Why? Because at some point in time, you might become interested. When things get really hard or things look like they're going to get really bad, might come back and say, hey, Ron told me about this. I better go back and look it up. That's why our channel's here on the YouTube, because it's archived. Anytime we have a presentation that labels emergency preparedness in the title, that's where you need to start looking at at this channel. When you're looking for emergency preparedness information, we've got it here for you. If it talks about emergency kits in the title, that's where you need to go. If it talks about emergency plans, you need to go and watch that program. Now, I've told you up until the last week or so, we've talked extensively about having an emergency plan for whatever happens. You need to have that. Now, guys, I know I've had questions about, well, what about this? What about that? That's what you need to do yourself. I can't tell you what to plan for. I could only tell you overall things that might happen. You need to decide for yourself what's going to happen. Right off the top, you need to decide for yourself what might happen. How am I going to know what happens? Contact your city emergency manager. If they're not available or there's no emergency manager in your area, contact the police chief, contact your fire chief. Those people would have emergency information about what emergencies and disasters that might happen in your community. Question them extensively about dams, about fires, about explosions, about oil refiners in your area. Talk to them about everything. Is there anything in this community, anything in the outlying areas of the community that might be pertinent to me knowing about, that might hurt individuals or our community? Talk to them extensively about that. That's your responsibility. And I ask you to do that for your own safety and the safety of your family. This is absolutely important. Okay? Yes, things are going to happen. Things are going to happen. I promise you that they are going to happen. But it's up to each one of us individually to make sure we are prepared for ourselves. Okay? Now that's all I'm going to say about that today. I want to talk about earthquakes today. That's our primary state here about earthquakes today. Right off the bat, I'm going to talk about this. This is a picture of our sun right now. Okay? It's a quiet day on the sun. So far with only minor C flares, minor C-class solar flares detected around AR 4409 and 4408. I've got those pictured here on this sun map here. Okay? I want to make sure you understand that. Now, besides that, a new region formed just to the west of AR 4408. It was numbered 4413. The latest National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration, as well as the SWPC update, list a 35% chance for an isolated M-class flare. That means a medium solar flare, and a lower 10% chance for a strong X-class flare. A 10% chance of an X-class flare. Right this time, at this point, today, there are no Earth-directed eruptions observed today in satellite imagery. There are no Earth-directed eruptions from the sun today in satellite imagery. Neither SOHO, which is a solar observatory, or even the other solar satellites on the backside of the sun, there are no images showing anything that is going to be Earth-directed today, right now, at this point. That might change later on tonight. But right now, there are no solar eruptions at this time Earth-directed. Okay? Now, given that, we have had some earthquakes today. Nothing major. I'm going to say that right now. Nothing major has happened. Okay? You need to know that. Why? Because, guys, if an earthquake happens, you're going to want to know where it happens. You're going to want to know where it is in relationship to you, where you live. Okay? Now, right now, I'm going to drop the webcam here and show you what's going on right now. I want to do this because you need to know. Okay? This is the USGS map, mostly of the Pacific region, the Pacific Ring of Fire. However, look over at Africa and Europe. USGS is not showing anything there at all. Absolutely nothing. That's a travesty. Okay? USGS is showing 225 earthquakes worldwide. That's a fallacy. That is an absolute fallacy. There are nearly 1,000 earthquakes worldwide right now. And I can say that off the top of my head because that's exactly the truth. I believe there's probably closer to 1,400 to 2,000 earthquakes worldwide. Okay? Last night, we talked about Southern California, extensively about Southern California. I told you then that the Los Angeles area, including Orange County, LA and Orange County, and even out to Bakersfield, San Bernardino counties. There are over 400 earthquakes a day in that area. Just in the greater LA, Los Angeles, San Bernardino, and Bakersfield County area, and also Orange County. I told you down in Imperial Valley, there are over 500 earthquakes a day in the Imperial Valley alone. That's over 900, possibly close to 1,000 earthquakes right there in Southern California today. Today. That does not include anywhere else in the world. And I'm talking tremors. I'm talking about minor earthquakes 2.0, 2.9. I'm talking anything over 3.0 to 8.0, 9.0 earthquakes. Yeah. There are no 7.0. There are no 6.0. There are no 8.0, 9.0 earthquakes at all. No major earthquakes on this map right now. Okay. Let's go down here to the South Pacific, right down here. Okay. I'm going to show you earthquakes today. This is a large 5.2 earthquake down here on the Antarctic Ridge. Early this morning, 7:24 a.m. this morning, this earthquake hit Eastern Time. This is a 5.2 large earthquake. 5.0, 5.5 are considered large earthquakes. 5.6 to 5.9 are considered to be very large earthquakes. 6.0, 6.9 are called strong or very strong earthquakes. 7.0 larger are called major earthquakes. Major earthquakes. This is a 5.2 earthquake down here in the South Pacific on the Antarctic Ridge. The South Pacific Antarctic Ridge here. Now, given this situation here, this earthquake is in the south part of the Pacific Ocean, but look how close it is to the ridge going to the north. The South Pacific Ridge going to the north. Meaning this 5.2 energy could end up reaching southern Mexico. But not only just that. Let's look over here to the ridge here. Okay. This is the West Chile Ridge here. If that 5.0, 5.2 energy climbs up the South Pacific rim here, could go over here into Easter Island area, West Chile Ridge here. This earthquake is a 4.7 earthquake. Now, if that large energy goes down the West Chile Ridge, where's it going to end up? Southern Chile, Argentina region. The Southern Chile and Argentina region. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, there are more earthquakes than USGS showing here in Chile. Lots and lots of earthquakes here. Approximately 14 or more earthquakes are over here in central Chile right there. Over 14 earthquakes right here in central Chile. They're showing one. This is a 4.3 earthquake. There are 2.7s, 2.8, 2.9s, 3.4, 3.5, 3.7, 3.9, 4.0 to 4.7 earthquakes here in central Chile, Argentina region, right here, including on the Argentine-Chilean border in the Andes Mountains. Then we move north here to Atacama or Tarapacá province of Chile. Those are counties here in Chile, northern Chile here. Now, guys, there are 15 earthquakes at least here in northern Chile, in Argentina and Bolivia border region. 15 earthquakes. Every day there's at least 15 earthquakes here a day. Every day. USGS is not showing any of them. They range in size from 3.0 to 4.7 earthquakes here in northern Chile, Argentina, and Bolivia border region here in the Andes Mountains. Okay? Today, they're not showing any earthquakes in Peru. They're not showing any earthquakes in Ecuador. They're not showing any earthquakes in Colombia or Venezuela. That's a fallacy. There are earthquakes in Colombia, absolutely. Almost always. Almost always. But again, USGS is not showing them. Go over here to Central America. There are 12 earthquakes here in Central America. Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, and El Salvador. USGS is showing one right here, okay, on the Cocos Plate. This is a 4.3 earthquake on the Cocos Plate today, just offshore from El Salvador, 87 miles south of La Libertad, El Salvador. 4.3 earthquake. I'm going to tell you this right now. Here in Central America, over in northern Panama, Costa Rica area, that region right there, Costa Rica and Panama, there are 7 different 3.0, 3.9 earthquakes. 7 different. There's sometimes even more than that. El Salvador has at least 3 earthquakes. Nicaragua has at least 4 earthquakes. Guatemala probably has 2 earthquakes here. Now let's go over here to Mexico. USGS is showing 1 earthquake here in Mexico. That's a lie. There are 47 earthquakes here in southern Mexico completely. 47 earthquakes. That includes well down here into southern Mexico, right down here. All the way north to Puerto Vallarta right there. They show 1 earthquake. They show a 4.6 here earthquake here. Guys, I don't understand how they can get away with showing only 1 moderate earthquake here. This is a mid-range 4.6. 4.6 and 4.9 are upper side of moderate earthquakes, meaning they cause more damage. 4.0, 4.5 are moderate earthquakes. They do cause some damage, but the larger the earthquakes get, the more damage can be found when that earthquake hits. This is a 4.6 earthquake here. This is just southwest of Santa Casita, Mexico. Okay? In this area, okay, there are small towns. There are villages here. People live here. No, people don't have a lot of money here either. To be quite honest with you, you might already know that. People down here in Mexico don't have that much money unless they're in a very large town. Guys, there are small towns and communities here. Those people around this earthquake felt it. They felt it. Probably within 100 miles distance. Okay? They felt this earthquake. They may have had some damage here. 4.6 earthquakes cause damage. Now, I have related stories before about a 4.5 earthquake in Los Angeles back in 2014. It was billed as a 4.5 earthquake. But I saw one of my buddies, one of my pals, one of my friends, used to live in San Diego. He moved to Los Angeles to work for KTLA Channel 5. I had cable television at the time. I was able to pull up KTLA news from Los Angeles. When that earthquake hit, my friend Carlos Amezcua and his female partner dove under the news desk because the ground started shaking. The ground started shaking. They saw the studio lights in their news studio flying around above them. They got down under the news desk for protection. After the earthquake stopped shaking, they got back to the news desk and Carlos Amezcua announced there was a 4.5 earthquake. Needless to say, I was asked 2 hours later, I got a telephone call from Los Angeles Emergency Operations Center asking me if I would fly to Los Angeles to assist them with recovery in Los Angeles. I'm considered a subject matter expert. I told them I would do that. I did. 2 hours later, after that, I was on another plane from Salt Lake City to Los Angeles. I was there about 5 or 6 days, as I remember. I helped them recover. Los Angeles, they said, had a lot of broken windows. That 4.5 earthquake broke windows, plate glass windows, not only in homes, but businesses all over Los Angeles County. All over. 4.5 earthquake. But it wasn't just that damage. They had broken water mains, broken gas mains, both petroleum and natural gas mains broke. Guys, that does not usually happen with a 4.5 motor earthquake. That earthquake was a lot larger than a 4.5. Yet this earthquake in Mexico was a 4.6. Now, yes, they might have some gas lines and water lines here in Mexico. Larger cities usually do. This was allegedly a 4.6 earthquake. That's why I just got through telling you that story from Los Angeles. So you guys can get a comparison of what might happen during a moderate earthquake. But again, I believe that was a lot larger earthquake than they said it was. I have reason to believe it was. I was there. Yes, they had aftershocks from the 4.5, but they were small shakers. There were only small shakers here. Now again, down here in Southern California, I'm showing you earthquakes both in Los Angeles, San Diego, and also over in the Imperial Valley. This is the Imperial Valley right here. San Diego County is right here. And up to the north, this is Los Angeles County, San Bernardino County, and also Orange County, California. That's what we're talking about right here. Yes, they've had some earthquakes here today. They're not showing all the earthquakes at all. This is Trabuco Canyon. Trabuco Canyon. This is part of Los Angeles County. This is a 0.8 microquake. Glory be, they talk about microquakes. Of course they do. But guys, they're not showing any 3.0s. They're not showing any 4.0, 4.5. There probably are earthquakes 4.5 here in the greater Los Angeles area. Okay, I've seen them. I've seen them. Now, I'm going to drop down this map further down here. I want to show you this earthquake here. Okay, this just happened. This earthquake just happened. Okay, red earthquakes are earthquakes that just happen. They happen within, if they're red for about 30, 40 minutes. This just happened. Okay, this is a 1.0 tremor here. Banning, California. This just south of what? This just south of the San Andreas Fault. The San Andreas Fault. Now, I guarantee you there are a lot more earthquakes here near the San Andreas Fault today. There always are. Further up here to the northwest, Moreno Valley is 0.9 microquake here. Drop further to the south here. This is 1.0 tremor here. Loma Linda, California. Fancy that. Loma Linda, 1.0 tremor. But guys, they have a lot of 1.0 tremors here, Loma Linda. They have microquakes as well as 0.9 to 1, 0.1, 0.9 microquakes. They have a ton of tremors here. I can guarantee cotton picking to you there are minor 2.0, 2.9 earthquakes here as well. And possibly even a 3.0 earthquake here in Loma Linda area. Fact. But they'll never show it here. Okay, let's go further north here. Right here. This is Little Creek, California. This is the 1.1 tremor here in Little Creek, California. South of there, Fontana, guys. Fontana, California. They're showing a 0.6 microquake here in Fontana. Guys, how many times do I need to tell you what happens here in Fontana? Not only do they have microquakes, it's 0.1 to 0.9. This is 0.6. They have 2.0 to 2.9. Excuse me. They have microquakes 0.1 to 0.9. They have tremors 1.0 to 1.9. They have minor earthquakes 2.0 to 2.9. They have small earthquakes 3.0 to 3.7 here, all the time in Fontana. All the time in Fontana. I can almost guarantee you that there are small 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes hitting Fontana right now, today. They happen every day that goes by. Why? Because, guys, they are just southwest of one of the largest earthquake faults in the world, the San Andreas Fault. They're also very near the San Jacinto Fault. The San Jacinto Fault, like I told you yesterday, is capable of a 6.0 to 6.5 earthquake on the San Jacinto. Those kind of earthquakes cause a lot of damage. They cause a lot of damage. Guys, that's what could happen here. And again, I told you all this yesterday. The San Andreas Fault is capable of a 7.5 to 8.5 earthquake on the San Andreas. And as I told you yesterday, all the other ancillary faults all over Los Angeles, Orange County, and San Bernardino County could be activated. Why? Whenever there's that kind of shaking, major shaking here in Southern California, there's also shaking on the other ancillary faults all over that area, all over that region. That's exactly what's going to happen. Okay? Going down here to the southwest. This I told you about earlier, a 0.8 microquake in Trabuco Canyon, Los Angeles. Trabuco Canyon, California. Now, they're not showing any other earthquakes in Los Angeles. As I told you yesterday, there are earthquakes all over Los Angeles City, all over Los Angeles County every day. They're showing one earthquake off the coast here. They're showing one earthquake off the coast. This earthquake here, this is west of El Segundo, California, or El Segundo, California. This is a 1.8 tremor here. 1.8 tremor. Now, guys, there are all kinds of tremors here. You see Santa Monica here. There's a small municipal airfield in Santa Monica. When I've talked about Santa Monica before, I showed you sidegrams from that airfield. There are all kinds of microquakes and tremors all over that airfield. Microquakes 0.1 to 0.9, tremors 1.0 to 1.9 all the time. And yes, occasionally we'll even get a 2.0 to 2.6 in Santa Monica. But when a major earthquake hits here, we're going to see 5.0, 6.0 shaking here, also here in Santa Monica, and all these other communities along the coastline, including Anaheim, Long Beach, Huntington Beach. This whole area here, guys, this whole area is going to get hit. The whole region is going to get hit inland as well. Okay? Now, I don't want to talk any more about earthquakes here in Southern California. Covered that pretty much yesterday. There are more earthquakes. There are more earthquakes here in Northern California as well. Okay, just briefly here, right here. Okay, this earthquake is right directly between the Hayward and the Calaveras Fault, east of the San Francisco Bay Area. This is a 1.8 tremor here in Livermore, California. There are also other earthquakes and tremors here in the San Francisco Bay Area, but USGS is not going to talk about them. They never do. South of the Bay Area here, southeast of Monterey Bay here, Ridgemark, California, 1.8 tremor here on the San Andreas Fault. This is also 1.3 tremor, 6 miles southwest of Ridgemark. Tremors here. There are all kinds of tremors and minor earthquakes here, and even small earthquakes up and down the fault. San Andreas Fault. They're not going to show them here. Go down south here. Again, this is the earthquake capital of the world, Parkfield, California. This is a 0.6 microquake at Parkfield. Now, guys, I know there are more earthquakes than this at Parkfield. There always are. There are minor earthquakes, 2.0, 2.9. There are small earthquakes such as 3.0, 3.6 here in Parkfield today. Usually when we have a bigger earthquake than that, in Parkfield, they show it, but not always. Again, they're not going to show anything at all. They rarely do. But my primary focus of this conversation today, I want to go across the United States to the central United States right here. The Madrid Fault. The Madrid Fault. For this part of the conversation, I'm going to show you earthquakes from down here in Louisiana, going up here to the north into Arkansas, going up here into Tennessee, Missouri, Illinois, and even Indiana. Okay, you show you earthquakes all over this region. Now, guys, as I stated before, I believe in my heart of hearts, and I hate to say this, there's going to be a major earthquake here in the Madrid region. In the Madrid region, I can guarantee it. It's probably going to occur within the next 2 years. Given what we're seeing here on the Madrid Fault every day, I believe that the number of earthquakes and the size of the earthquakes are increasing. They're definitely increasing in size. With that increase, if we put it out even mathematically, we're going to see a major earthquake here along the Madrid Fault within the next 2 years. I do not think it will go much past that. If it does, we'll get very lucky. Get very, very lucky. There are millions and millions of people living up and down the Madrid Fault, from south to north, and out to the east into even Iowa and Indiana. When the earth shakes, millions of people are going to be affected. There'll be thousands of people that are unalived, and tens of thousands of people will be injured from that earthquake when it happens. As I've said before about Southern California, Mexico, and everywhere else where we have earthquakes, if you know people in that area, whether you have friends or family in those areas, you need to tell those people that they need to get prepared. They need to be prepared for earthquakes. They're going to happen. Their lives will be changed when those earthquakes hit. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Now, today I'm not going to have any time to talk about earthquakes on the East Coast. I may come on the air tomorrow morning and talk about earthquakes on the East Coast because there are earthquakes on the East Coast. There are minor tremors. There are microquakes. There are minor earthquakes 2.0, 2.9. Right today, there are 3.0 to 3.6 earthquakes here in Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and Virginia. Yeah, 4 states. 4 states with identifiable earthquakes here on the East Coast. Happen every day. These earthquakes happen every day. There are tremors and minor earthquakes up and down the whole northeastern coast of North America, going up into Canada, even up into Nova Scotia. Now, I noticed my buddy Nova Scotia Rich, he calls himself Rich Quakes. Rich, my friend, you can identify that you have earthquakes there. I know because you told me. Okay? Canada does not always list earthquakes either, but they list more earthquakes in this part of Canada than they do anywhere else. They list more earthquakes on the west coast of Canada here, but that doesn't mean they still don't have earthquakes here on the east coast of Canada. They do. Now, guys, this earthquake here in the Cascadia subduction zone region just happened. As I was moving the map, I saw this just happen. Anytime you see a red earthquake, that means it just happened. This is on the Blanco fracture zone. This earthquake on the Blanco fracture zone. Okay? It's in the Cascadia subduction zone region. This earthquake is a 4.0 moderate earthquake. A 4.0 moderate earthquake here. What does it mean? By itself out here in the ocean doesn't mean anything. Nobody felt this earthquake on land at all. At all. This is off the coast of Oregon. Off the coast of Bannon, Oregon. Okay? But nobody in Oregon felt this earthquake. The ocean waters absorbed the shockwaves of this quake. Now, that doesn't mean there are not other earthquakes out here. There are earthquakes every day out here. 200 to 400 earthquakes a day here off the coast of California, Oregon, and Washington. That's just off the coast. There are more earthquakes here on the coastline as well, and inland as well in Oregon and Washington and Northern California. But they're still not showing all of them. They never do. We'll talk more about the Pacific Northwest on Wednesday, unless we have a major earthquake or large earthquake here in this area, then we'll talk about it. But like I said, my specific talk about today is on the pneumatic fault. On the pneumatic fault. Now, guys, I mean it. I mean it. I'm asking everybody here, stay here. Stay here for our presentation. You're going to want to see what happens here. These earthquakes happen every day, but USGS never shows exactly what happens. They never do. And I don't believe they ever will. I don't believe they ever will. Now, over on the pneumatic fault. This is Bay Village, Arkansas. Bay Village right alongside the Mississippi River, right alongside the entire pneumatic fault. Look what's happening here. This is this afternoon. This is this afternoon. Now, guys, very little happened here this morning. Very little happened here this morning. On the left side on the same black line, we have 1 p.m. This earthquake sequence happened just before, I should say just after 2:25 p.m. I'm sorry, not 2, but after 1:25 p.m., this afternoon. Start off with tremors long before that. Start off with tremors about 106, 105. The tremors kept happening for about 5 or 6 minutes. About 124, the tremors increased in size. We had a 2.8, 2.9. Then at approximately 126, became a 3.0 earthquake here. Bay Village, Arkansas, on the west side of the Pneumatic Fault. Let's look at Catfish Pond, Arkansas. What happened here today? Okay. I reduced this in size again. Up until a certain time this morning, all we had were tremors here. All we had were tremors here. After 7:26, actually, that's wrong. About 7:14 this morning. 7:14 this morning, we had a 2.6, 2.7 earthquake on this black line here. Then we had more tremors happen. On the next blue line on the left-hand side, it will be 7:30. Then we come over to 7:31, 32, 33, 34. 7:33, we have some minor tremors. Granted, those minor tremors became 1.8, 1.9 tremors, didn't they? Then more tiny tremors and microquakes after that, until after 8 a.m. this morning. The next black line on the left-hand side would be 8 a.m. We come over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes later. 8:05 a.m. this morning. Another 3.2, 3.3 earthquake. 3.2, 3.3 earthquake here. Catfish Pond, Arkansas. I'm going to tell you this right off the bat. Even at Catfish Pond, Arkansas, we have 3.0 earthquakes more frequently than this. Happens. Unfortunately, happens all the time. Catfish Pond, Arkansas this afternoon. Up until 2 p.m., all we had were tremors. Tremors, that's it. Then at 2 p.m., we had a 2.8, 2.9 earthquake and 3.0 earthquake within seconds of each other. Then more tremors here. Catfish Pond, Arkansas. Now let's go just to the north a little bit and west. Attachicoon, Arkansas here. At 12 midnight on the top line here on the left-hand side, we have some microquakes and tremors happening. Granted, but that changes after 3:45 this morning. On the green line on the left-hand side is 3:45 this morning. Then we go over here to about 3:54 this morning. 2.8, 2.9 earthquake. Prior to that 2.8, 2.9, we had tremors. And after that, we have tremors and minor earthquakes. 2.5, 2.6, 2.7. Tremors and minor earthquakes here. Okay? Then later this morning, we jumped down here to about 9:44 this morning. Actually, 9:34 this morning. Excuse me. No, it's not even that. I'm sorry. I want to say 9:26 this morning on the red line. Minor earthquake. 2.6 earthquake. On the next blue line on the left-hand side, it'll be 9:30. But over here on the right-hand side, this is 9:43 a.m. this morning into 9:44. Tremors and minor earthquake here, 2.2 earthquake. Then more tremors after that. We jump down to 10:45 on the green line. More tremors. Lots more tremors. We come down to 11 a.m. this morning on the black line on the left-hand side. More tremors here. We come over here to the right-hand side. 11:13 this morning. 2.93 points earthquake. Atachakun, Arkansas. This is pretty typical, what we see here. Then we jump down here on the green line. Tremors at 11:45 on the left-hand side. We drop over here to about 11:58, 11:59 this morning. Tremors building up to 3 points earthquakes. Multiple 3 points earthquakes almost back to back here. 11:40 or 11:59 a.m. this morning. Multiple 3 points earthquakes here. Atachakun, Arkansas. Interesting at all. Again, they happen all the time. Atachakun, Arkansas this afternoon. Look what happens with that. Right about 11:59 this morning, multiple 3 points earthquakes. Those earthquakes continue after 12 noon today, up until 12:01 this morning, or 12:01 this afternoon. Multiple 3 points earthquakes happening here. Almost 60 seconds, almost a full minute of 3 points earthquakes. Small earthquakes. Yes, these small 3 points earthquakes can be unnerving. Granted, that's probably true. But all you're going to feel is a little bit of ground movement beneath your feet. 3.2 to 3.5, you're going to see furniture rattling around on your floor, maybe even creeping along your floor. 3.5 to 4.0, all of a sudden you're going to see your furniture not only creeping, you're going to hear things rattling around your home. Lots of rattling. Okay? That's what happens when you have a 3.0 small earthquake. That's what happened here. Atachakun, Arkansas. In northwestern Arkansas. Okay? Let's go to the northeast here. In Arkansas, still on the western side of the Pneumatic Fault. Marktree, Arkansas. This is Marktree, Arkansas this morning. The top left-hand side is midnight. The bottom right-hand side is 11:59. The blue line here after 2:30 this morning. 2:30 this morning on the blue line on the left-hand side. We come over here to about 2:37 this morning. 2.5, 2.6 earthquakes. We had minor earthquakes until approximately 2:38, 2:39 this morning. Then we ramped up the size of the earthquake. This time we had a 3 points earthquake, multiple 3 points earthquakes here. From those earthquakes ramped down to minor earthquakes, 2.4, 2.5, 2.3, 2.4, 1.0, and then it zeroed out, even out to microquakes after that. After 2:30 this morning, we have some 3 points earthquakes, small earthquakes. Okay. 2:46 this morning on the green line. You see tremors building up here, building up to minor 2.5, 2.6 earthquakes. Goes up and down for about 4 minutes here. You see that? Goes up and down until it gets to be minor tremors, then dies out to microquakes after that. The next time you see anything significant, it's after 4 a.m. this morning on the black line. You see 0400 this morning, that's 400 hours. 0400 hours military time. That's how these earthquakes are listed. Over here to the right, this is 4:12 this morning. 4:12 this morning here. What happened? It builds up from about 4:08, 4:09, from tremors to minor earthquakes, 2.5 earthquakes, 2.8, 2.9 earthquakes. That's how large I believe it was, and then it starts dying down to minor earthquakes, 2.0, 2.1, down to tremors, and then down to microquakes again. The next situation is after 5 a.m. this morning on the next black line. On the next black line on the left-hand side is 5 a.m. We come over here to about 5:05. The tremors start building up there. 5:07, we probably have 1.8, 1.9 tremors. Then it builds up quite quickly to a 2.6, 2.7 earthquake. Then we have tremors, 2.6, 2.7 earthquakes, again, over and over. Then they ramp down to tremors and then ramp down to minor microquakes. Now you see tremors all over this here again until we get down after 8:45 on the green line here. See where it says 0800 on the left-hand side? The next green line is 8:45. We come over here at about 8:51 on the green line. 3.0 earthquake here. Then we have some minor earthquakes, 2.0, 2.5. Then down to 2.0. Then tremors 1.0, 1.9. Then down to 1.0 tremors again. Okay. This is Marktree, Arkansas. Marktree, Arkansas, before 2 months ago, was constant 5 to 10 earthquakes every day here on the seismogram here at Marktree, Arkansas. 5 to 10 3.0 large earthquakes here every day. Every day. This just this morning. Let's show you Marktree, Arkansas this afternoon. This is Marktree, Arkansas this afternoon. After 12 noon, all we've had here are tremors. Tremors. I don't even see a 2.0 earthquake here. 12:15 on the red line. Tremors again. On the blue and green lines after that, more tremors. Then we come down to 1 p.m. this afternoon. Tremors until about 1:08, 1:09 this afternoon. Then it becomes minor earthquakes again. Minor earthquakes 2.0, 2.9 cannot be felt, except by someone very, very sensitive, maybe them. But that's all. You and I probably are not going to feel those earthquakes. Then what happens here? What happens here? At 1:17 this morning on the red line here, we have another 3.0 earthquake. Another 3.0 earthquake. 1:17 this afternoon. Marktree, Arkansas. After that, we have more tremors until we get over here after 2 p.m. At 1400 hours on the left-hand side. 1400 on the left-hand side. That's 2 p.m. We come over here to about 2:10, 2:11 p.m. on this black line. This is a 3.0 earthquake here. This is at least maybe a 3.0, 3.1 earthquake. New Madrid, Arkansas. Multiple 3.0 earthquakes hitting here. Notice these lines here, each individual line. Those are individual quakes. 3.0 energy hitting. Now you're not going to feel individual quakes, but you're going to feel continued earth movement. Continued earth movement here for about 7 to 10 seconds. 7-10 seconds of earth movement. That might be frightening at first because you feel jiggling beneath your feet, or maybe you're laying down or sitting down. Might feel a little bit uneasy because all of a sudden your chair or bed you're laying on is jiggling a tiny bit. Montreal, Arkansas. This happens every day. Usually we have up to 10 3.0 earthquakes or larger here in Montreal, Arkansas. Usually, guys. Okay? Now for kicks and giggles, I'm only going to show you where we have a great deal amount of tremors and minor earthquakes, and also small earthquakes. Let's go out to Ozark Folk Center, North Central Arkansas. This diagram shows everything after 12 midnight to 12 noon on the bottom right-hand side. Top left is 12 midnight. Bottom right-hand side is 11:59, 12 noon. Here, after 9:37 this morning, 3.0 earthquake on the blue line. On the next green line, this would be 9:56 this morning, 2.5, 2.6 earthquake. Then we jump down here to 11:15 on the left-hand side on the red line. Over this far to the right in the center, on that red line, 2.8, 2.9 earthquake. This is about 11:20 a.m. this morning. 11:20 a.m. this morning. On the next blue line, we have 2 3.0 earthquakes here on the blue line here. On the blue line here. Let me enlarge this so you get a different perspective on this. The first 3.0 earthquake happens about 11:40 this morning. 11:39, 11:40 this morning. 3 minutes later, another 3.0 earthquake here. Okay. After that, we had 2.8, 2.9. The next line here is the green line. Now, guys, this green line is going to tell us we have another 3.0 earthquake at 11:53 a.m. this morning. 3.0 earthquake. After that, we have tremors and another minor earthquake. 2.6, 2.7 earthquake. Ozark Folk Center, North Central Arkansas. We have these kind of earthquakes almost every day. Almost every day here in North Central Arkansas. Ozark Folk Center. Now, I'm going to show you Ozark Folk Center this afternoon. More earthquakes here. Fancy that. This green line here is 12:45 on the left-hand side. So here at 12:48, 3.0 earthquake, multiple 3.0 earthquakes back to back here. Notice the little thick lines here. These are multiple 3.0 earthquakes. Prior to that, 2.6, 2.7. After the 3.0, tremors. Then we move over to the far right-hand side. 12:59 p.m. this afternoon. More 3.0 earthquakes here. This particular sequence lasts about 15 to 20 seconds here. 15 to 20 seconds of shaking here. This would probably be very unnerving to you. You're wide awake, moving around your house or office, and all of a sudden you feel shaking. Not tremendous shaking, but you're feeling shaking here. Then after 1:30 this afternoon, 1:30 this afternoon on the left-hand side, over here on the right-hand side. Okay? This is about 1:40 this afternoon. Another 3 points of earthquake here. Unreal. Starts off with maybe a 1.6, 1.7 tremor. Then all of a sudden 3 points of earthquake. Right after the earthquake quit shaking, we have more tremors. Then approximately a minute and a half later, more tremors, and then another sudden 3 points of earthquake. Again. Okay? 1:41, 1:42 this afternoon. Ozark Folk Center, Arkansas. Now, I can show you all kinds of tremors all over the place. I'm going to skip over those. Okay? I'm going to show you some tremors and minor earthquakes over here in Truman, Arkansas. Truman, Arkansas. Truman is just south of Martree, Arkansas. Usually here at Truman, we see all kinds of minor earthquakes, 2.0, 2.9. We also see 3 points of earthquakes here all the time. Multiple 3 points of earthquakes here all the time. Today, down at the bottom left-hand side, 11:30 this morning. Just after 11:30 this morning, another 3 points of earthquake. All the rest of this activity today is 1.0 to 1.9 tremors, except for one place. 2:17 this morning, up here in the red line here, left-hand side. That's like a 1.9, 2.0 earthquake here. Down at the bottom left-hand side, a 3.0 earthquake, small earthquake. Okay? Truman, Arkansas this afternoon. All we have here are tremors and minor earthquakes here. Tremors and minor earthquakes. 1.1 to 1.9, 2.0 to 2.6 earthquakes here today, this afternoon. That's all you see here at Truman, Arkansas this afternoon. Let's drop further south to Tyrons, Arkansas. Tyrons, Arkansas, guys. This is where things change. This is further south from Truman. Okay? Up at the top, all we see here are tremors. All we see here are tremors until just a second. Until 5:19, 5:20 this morning. 1.7, 1.8 tremor. Then we drop down here to 7 a.m. on the black line here. We'll go over to the right on the black line. Okay? This is about 8:07, 8:09, actually 8:07, 8:08 this morning. This is a 2.8, 2.9 earthquake. That's all. All we had prior to that were tremors. And after that, all we had were tremors. Go down to the next blue line on the right-hand side. This time we're at 8:44 this morning. Just before 8:44 this morning, we have another 2.8, 2.9 earthquake. These earthquakes continue to happen, don't they? They absolutely do. 8:45 on the next green line here. 8:45 on the green line. 2.8, 2.9 earthquake again. The next red line here will be 9:16. 9:16. 9:16, we have a 2.9, 3.0 earthquake. Fancy that. On that same red line going over here to the far right-hand side, that earthquake is at 9:28, 9:29 this morning, 2.2, 2.3 earthquake, max. We drop down to the next blue line. This is about 10:06 or 10:36 this morning. 2.7, 2.8 earthquake. Yes, we see some other tremors here and minor earthquakes. We drop down here to the next blue line. We have a bunch of tremors, and then all of a sudden we have a 2.7, 2.8 earthquake here. This is 11:34 this morning. 2.7, 2.8 earthquake here. We come across to the right, we have another 2.0 earthquake. On the green line after that, well, we have our microquakes and tremors here. Tyrons, Arkansas. Things changed this afternoon. Look at this. Things change here. We have all kinds of tremors here, except for one or two, actually two minor earthquakes here. This one here on this blue line is 12:34. Well, actually almost 12:35 this afternoon. 2.6, 2.7 earthquake. Going over all the way to the right, we have another 1.9, 2.0 earthquake. At 1:46 this afternoon on the next green line. That's a 1.8, 1.9 tremor here. Tyrons, Arkansas, all day long. We usually see minor earthquakes 2.0, 2.9, and multiple small 3.0 earthquakes after that. Things changed, didn't they? They absolutely did. Next, I want to go over to West Memphis, Arkansas. On the western side of the Pneumatic Fault before you cross the bridge on Interstate 40, going over to Memphis, Tennessee. West Memphis, Arkansas here. Again, this is on the western side of the Pneumatic Fault. West Memphis, Arkansas. Up until later this morning, all we saw are microquakes and tremors. That's it. That's all. That's it. Then things start to happen. Why does it happen this way? I don't know. But this happens a lot. I personally think it's because the seismologists come back to work. They're not monitoring things at night. They come back to work in the morning. They turn up the equipment, the seismologists turn up the seismographs. Seismographs are the machine, the seismographs are the computer readout. Seismographs are the computer readout. They turn up the machines, and all of a sudden we have earthquakes again. That happens frequently, all the time. We've seen already here today. Now, after 6 a.m. this morning, over in the center here, this is 6:09, 6:10 this morning. 2.8, 2.9 earthquake. We drop down to the next blue line where we have earthquakes again. I'm talking anywhere over 2.0 earthquakes. This time on the next blue line. Again, this is 6:36 this morning. 2.9, 3.0 earthquake again. On the same line to the right, we have multiple small minor earthquakes. Small minor earthquakes. The first one looks like it's a 2.9, 3.0. The next earthquake to the right on the blue line is a minor earthquake, 2.6, 2.7. Unreal. Then the next time we have an earthquake here on the blue line, this will be 7:30 this morning on the left-hand side of the blue line. 3.0 earthquake here. Okay? Then you see a bunch of tremors here mostly. The next black line, you see tremors until we get over here to the right-hand side. Over here on the right-hand side, This is 8:10 this morning. 2.8, 2.9 earthquake. Next time we have an earthquake of any substantial value is after about 9:40 a.m. this morning. 9:40 a.m. this morning, we have a 2.6, 2.7 earthquake. A minute and a half later, we have a 2.8, 2.9 earthquake. Then after that, all we have are a bunch of minor tremors and minor earthquakes, 2.0, 2.9. West Memphis, Arkansas, on the western side of the Pneumatic Fault, before we cross into eastbound into Tennessee. Okay? Happens every day. Every day, guys. Now, I want to go over to Carbondale, Illinois. Carbondale, Illinois, going north. I'm going to skip over Missouri right now. We're going to get into Missouri in a few minutes. Going up into Illinois, the northern end of the Pneumatic Fault, Carbondale, Illinois. Before this earthquake hit, all we had here are microquakes and nothing else. Microquakes, nothing else. They don't show anything else at all on the seismograph. Then all of a sudden, later this morning, guys, after 8:49 this morning, we have tremors building into 2.0 earthquakes. Then approximately at 8:51 this morning, we have a 2.9, 3.0 earthquake. Almost a minute and a half or more, a little later, we have a 3.3 earthquake. 3.3 earthquake here. Then minor earthquakes, 2.6, 2.7, 2.3, 2.4, 2.2, 2.0, and then tremors again. Carbondale, Illinois. That's all that hit here. But I want to show you more earthquakes here in Illinois. There are earthquakes here in Illinois. I've been showing you earthquakes here in Illinois for over a month now, maybe closer to 2 months, 2.5 months. They're happening. They happen every day. Let's go over here to Decatur, Illinois. Up at the top on the black line is 12 midnight on the left-hand side. You see tremors here. 1 a.m. this morning on the black line. You see tremors building into 2.0 to 2.9 earthquakes on this black line. Then more tremors. After 1:37 a.m. this morning, another 3.0 earthquake on the black line, our blue line. All over this segment here, from top to bottom, we have tremors building up to 3.0, 3.2 earthquakes here. Look at this Decatur, Illinois. Yes, there's a lot of shaking going on. A lot of shaking going on. 3.0 earthquakes can be felt. 3.1, 3.2 earthquakes can be felt. But that's all that we're having here. Literally all day long. This has been going on for over a month now, maybe 2 months. We've been showing you this. The northern part of the Pneumatic Fault is moving. It's moving big time. Big time, guys. If you have family here, they may have already told you this. If you have family here, maybe you need to tell them what you saw here. And ask them to come over and look at our program. This is Decatur, Illinois this afternoon. More tremors, more minor earthquakes, and yes, we have some 3.0 earthquakes here as well. Even down here on the green bottom line here, after 2:30, 2:45 this afternoon. 2:52, 2:53 this afternoon. 3.0 earthquakes here, guys. Small earthquakes. The northern end of the New Madrid Fault. Then let's drop down here to Missouri. Barker Cemetery, Missouri here. Okay? 2 years ago, we started seeing minor tremors and minor earthquakes. Tremors don't matter much. They can't be felt. Prior to 2 years ago, all we were seeing were minor tremors, 1.0, 1.9. That's all. Whenever anybody asked us what was going on in the New Madrid Fault, I told them nothing. Nothing. Just minor tremors. Nobody's going to feel it because that's all that happened. Things changed about 2.5 to 3 years, about 2.5 years ago. Then 2 years ago, especially here at Barker Cemetery, we started seeing 2.0, 2.5, 2.7 earthquakes here, minor earthquakes. They're still happening here. They're still happening. Now look at this seismogram closely. What's happening here on the seismogram? They turned it off. They turned it off. Yes, occasionally they're showing us some minor microquakes. That's it. You have great blobs of white here where they turned off the seismograph, not recording anything. That happens throughout the morning here. Now, we drop down to this black line here where it starts showing activity. Let's zoom in here. After 7 a.m. this morning, they turned it off. There was a gap here of maybe 10 to 15 seconds. You see that black line come up alive again. That's what happens when you see the seismograph turn off, come back on. A black line that comes back up and goes up to this corresponding line. They turn it on again. Now, yes, this is after 7 a.m. Finally, they have it turned on. 7:07 a.m. this morning. 2.9, 3.0 earthquake again. Fancy that. Barker Cemetery, Missouri. Incredible, huh? It absolutely is. It absolutely is. Now, what's going on here? What's going on here, guys? Let me show you. After that 2.9, 3.0 earthquake, we have some minor tremors, microquakes, yes, and we have maybe 2 minor earthquakes. One is after 7:53 this morning on the green line to the right. Okay, 2.3 earthquake maybe. Then after 8:45 this morning, another tremor. More tremors here. You see those on these lines here. But the next time we have a significant earthquake, it's after 10:55 this morning. Or not 10:55, sorry, 10:40 this morning. 10:40 this morning on this blue line. Maybe 10:41. Again, this is a 2.9, 3.0 earthquake here. Then more tremors here. Barker Cemetery this afternoon is coming up. Earthquakes here, guys. Earthquakes. They're happening more and more. Barker Cemetery this afternoon. The top line here on the left-hand side is 12 noon. We come across to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12:07 this morning. or this afternoon, 12:07 this afternoon. Guess what? 2.6, 2.7 earthquake, multiple earthquakes here. You see probably 4 to 5 lines here. Okay? 2.6, 2.7 earthquakes. Then over here on the green line on the right-hand side, 12:55 this afternoon. 1.9, 2.0 earthquake. Then on this blue line, this would be 1:37 this afternoon. 3.0 small earthquake here. Barker Cemetery, Missouri. Missouri is the central part of the pneumatic fault. Central part of the pneumatic fault. Now, guys, here in Missouri, this is where you're going to see a lot of shaking when the earthquake hits. When the pneumatic earthquake hits, you're going to see a lot of shaking here in Missouri. Then after that, the shaking is going to immigrate south, north, west, and east. All the way east to the East Coast, north into Illinois, possibly even Canada, and out to the east to the north. Out west into Texas, possibly even into Nevada, or I shouldn't say Nevada, but New Mexico, maybe into Arizona. The ground is going to shake here, guys. It's going to shake. The central United States is going to act like jello. The central part of the United States is going to act like jello. Okay? This is what you see happening here, guys. I'm not joking at all. Barker Cemetery, Missouri. Now, I want to go over to, gosh, there's so much I want to show you here. First off, I want to show you Guam this afternoon, Guam, Missouri this afternoon. Look at this, or this morning. This is this morning. This afternoon almost didn't happen. This afternoon, all we had were tremors. This morning, we have tremors building into minor earthquakes. Tremor activity building into minor earthquakes. Long duration tremor activity. Some of these tremors lasted 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. Some of them build into 2.0, 2.4 earthquakes. This morning here, Guam, Missouri. This afternoon here in Guam, long duration tremors, that's it, nothing bigger, just minor tremors. Then, okay, I want to take you over to Kewanee, Missouri. Kewanee, Missouri. About 3 weeks ago, we started seeing earthquakes here. This is central Missouri. Okay? The top black line here is 12 midnight on the left-hand side. The second black line is 1 a.m. Or the first black line is 1 a.m., second black line is 2 a.m. We come over here to 2:03. Tremors beginning. 2:04, 2:05. Tremors. 2:06, tremors. 2:07. 2.8, 2.9 earthquake. Then it starts devolving into 2.0 earthquakes and back to tremors again. They can't be felt. Tremors can't be felt. Kewanee, Missouri. In past week, we've had 3.0 earthquakes here in Kewanee, Missouri. That's why I want to show you this. I want to show you what's going on. You need to understand it. Let's go over to Marston, Missouri. Marston, Missouri. Usually when we have a minor tremor or even minor earthquakes, USGS shows it on the USGS map, but they don't. They're not showing any activity whatsoever on the pneumatic fault at all. They've shown us 1.2, 1.6 tremors here on the map. Today they're not showing anything at all. As you can see here, Later this morning, early morning, about 1:30, 1:45, they showed some tremors. 2 a.m. this morning, tremors. Then at 3:45, 3:47, 3:48 this morning, more tremors. Then the tremors died down. They died down until about 9:30 a.m. this morning on Blue Line. We definitely have a tremor increase here, guys. Tremor increase here. Morrison, Missouri. 1.2, 1.3, 1.3, 1.4 tremors here. USGS is not showing anything here in Morrison, Missouri at all. Not a thing. Okay. Going north of Marston, we come to a community called Matthews, Missouri. Right there. On the seismogram here, after approximately 1:55 a.m. this morning, on the right-hand side of the screen line, we see tremors here. 9:56, or actually 9:55, 9:56, 9:57, tremors. Right before 1:58, we have some tremor minor earthquake, 2.0. Shortly after that, 2.9, 3.0 earthquake. Then the earthquake doesn't stop. The shaking doesn't stop at all. 1:58, 1:59, we have 2.2, 2.4, 2.5 earthquakes up until 2 a.m. this morning. From 1:58 to 2 a.m. this morning, tremor activity. Then the tremor activity goes into 2 a.m. this morning, 2:01, 2:02, 2:03, 2:04 this morning, then dies out. Fascinating. Then the next red line on the right-hand side. This would be 2:27, 2:28 this morning. All we have here are tremors. Those tremors build up to 1:30, 2:30 this morning on the blue line. 2:30 this morning, we have 1.5, 1.6 tremors building into 2.0, 2.2 earthquakes on the blue line here. Just after 2:30 this morning. 2:45 on the green line, all we have here are tremors. On the next black line, the next black line is 4 a.m. this morning. On the black line, over on the right-hand side, we've got tremor building up again. 2.6, 2.7, going down to 2.5 again. That's all that happens. The tremors continue at 4:15 this morning. 4:16, 4:17 dies out. Then we drop down here to 10:15 this morning. Tiny tremor activity. Building up to 1.8, 1.9 tremors here this morning. That's it. That's it here at Matthews, Missouri. The center part of the pneumatifault here, guys. That's what you need to get from this. The center part of the pneumatifault is moving in a big way. From north to south, it's moving, guys. Now let's take you over to Portersville, Missouri, right here. Okay. This again is where we get into 3.0 large earthquakes here. 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes here. Portersville, Missouri. 2:40 a.m. this morning. 2.8, 2.9. Within 30 seconds, we have 3.0 earthquake activity. Shaking that you can feel. At 2:51, 2:52 this morning, Tremors are building up to 2.6, 2.7 earthquake here. Minor earthquakes can be felt. After 4 a.m. this morning, this is 4:08, 4:09 this morning, we have tremors. 4:11 this morning, 2.7, 2.8 earthquake. 4:30 on the left-hand side on the blue line. Come over here to the right. 2:40. I'm sorry, not 2:40, 4:40 this morning on the blue line. 1.9 tremor, building up 2.0 activity, going back into tremors here. Then things change after 5 a.m. 5 a.m. on the black line on the left-hand side. We come over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes later. 5:07 this morning. We have a sequence of earthquakes here. 3.0 earthquakes here. 2 minutes of earthquakes. Now, guys, as you can see, this earthquake sequence got cut off at the top and the bottom. That means this sequence was larger than 3.0. Probably 3.3, 3.5 earthquakes here in Portisville, Missouri. That is not unusual at all. Not unusual at all. Okay? Then after 7:15 on this red line here, 7:16 this morning, another 3.0 earthquake. Then minor tremors, excuse me, minor tremors, minor earthquakes then, after that. Then what happens? Okay? Come down here to 8:15 this morning on the red line, over on the far right. Now we are at 8:27, 8:28 this morning. Another 3.0 earthquake. Another 3.0 earthquake. Possibly larger, 3.3, 3.2 earthquake here. On the next blue line on the left-hand side, we have 8:30. We come over here to the right. This is 8:44 a.m. this morning. 8:44 this morning. 3.2, 3.3 earthquake again. Okay? At 10:07 this morning on the next black line. 3.3 earthquakes here. The next red line, this is 10:19 a.m. this morning. 3.0, 3.2 earthquake here. Again. Okay? 10:30 over on the left-hand side of the blue line. Now we're over here at 10:41 a.m. this morning on the blue line. 3.2, 3.3 earthquake here. We go over here to the right, we have tremor activity building up to probably 2.2, 2.3 earthquakes, and that's it. Then, that same earthquake activity, that same minor earthquake activity turns into 2.7, 2.8. That's at 10:45 this morning. 10:46, we have another 3.3 earthquake here, again. That 3.3 earthquake turns into minor tremors, minor earthquakes, and dies out in tremors again. Then, after 11:45 this morning, 11:49 this morning, on the bottom green line, we have another sequence here of 3.0 earthquakes. 3.0 small earthquakes here. These earthquakes last probably 15 seconds. 15 seconds of earthquakes that you can feel here. Portisville, Missouri this morning. Portisville, Missouri this morning, guys. Happened. How about Portisville, Missouri this afternoon? Look at this afternoon. The small earthquake activity continued here. It almost always does. On the top left-hand side black line is 12 noon. 12:02 this morning, I'm sorry, not this morning, 12:02 this afternoon. Another 3.2, 3.3 earthquake. Then we come over here to the right. Now we're talking about 12:12 this afternoon. Guess what? Now we're talking about 3.5 earthquake. 3.5 earthquake. We can't see the top, we can see the bottom. This is a 3.5 earthquake here. On the next red line, we have tiny tremors until we get over here to the right-hand side. Okay? About 12:11 a.m. or 12:11 p.m. this afternoon. 2.9, 3.0 earthquake here. We drop down the next blue line, 12:30. 2.2, 2.7, 2.8. That's it. On the next black line, we don't have much anything but tremors. We drop down to the next green line, which is 1:30 this afternoon, 1:45 this afternoon. 1:45 this afternoon, we have another 3.0 earthquake. Yeah. 3.0 earthquake almost immediately turns into tremors. And right before it turns into 1:46, the 3.0 earthquake continues here, picks up again. This time I think it's a 3.2 earthquake. Then dies off and tremors again. We'll come out here to 3:55 this afternoon, or 2:55 this afternoon on the green line. 2.9, 3.0 earthquake here. After 2 p.m., the next black line. Come over here to 2:03 p.m. this afternoon. 2.6, 2.7 earthquake. We come further across here again. Now we are at 2:11 p.m. this afternoon. 3.2 earthquake here. 3.2 earthquake. 2:31 this afternoon on the next blue line on the left-hand side. 3.0, 3.1 earthquakes here. Multiple back-to-back. The seismic activity continues, and you possibly feel the ground moving here for about 10 seconds. Then the next seismic activity that we can feel is after 3 o'clock this afternoon. We come over here to the right. Now we are at 3:12 this afternoon. 3.3 earthquake here this afternoon. 3:12 this afternoon, we have a 3.3 earthquake. We drop down to 3:17 on the red line here below that. 3:17, we have a 2.7, 2.8 earthquake. Then tremors. The next blue line here, this is 3:33 this afternoon. Multiple 3.2, 3.3 earthquakes here. Fancy that. Pires Real, Missouri. This is typically what we see at Pires Real, Missouri every day. Again, this is on the Pneumatic Fault, on the western side of the Pneumatic Fault. What's going on? Happening every day without fail. Now, I want to go over before I end the show today to Eastern Tennessee Seismic Zone, Hopper, Tennessee. Hopper, Tennessee here, guys. Now, while this might be the Eastern Tennessee Seismic Zone, this is the southern part of the Eastern Continental Divide. The southern part of the Eastern Continental Divide, we're having earthquakes all afternoon, actually all morning long after about 7 a.m. this morning. We have tremors and minor earthquakes here. And we have a couple 3.0 earthquakes here again as well. We have a couple 3.0 earthquakes here again as well, maybe three. 3.0 earthquakes here today. One is after 7:43 this morning on the blue line, 3.0 earthquake there. The next black line is 7 a.m. over on the left-hand side. Over on the right here, 7-Eleven, the store. Another 3.0 earthquake here. On the next black line, I'm sorry, next red line, just below it. This would be 7, I want to say 7:22, 7:23 a.m. this morning. No, I'm sorry, 7:26 a.m. this morning. 7:26 a.m. this morning, another 3.0 earthquake. Then, on the black line after 10 a.m. this morning on the left-hand side here, or left-hand side, 10:02 a.m. this morning, another 3.3 earthquake here. Another 3.3 earthquake here. This is Eastern Tennessee Seismic Zone. Eastern Continental Divide, Hopper, Tennessee. This continues this afternoon. Let me show you this afternoon here in Hopper, Tennessee. I'm going to blow your mind. I want to blow your mind with this. The 3.0 activity continues here. Okay? After 12:15 this morning, 12:17 this morning, we have a 2.8, 2.9 earthquake. Move over to the right on the red line. 12:44 this morning. 12:24 this morning. 3.0 earthquake. Then at 1:23 this afternoon, 2.0 earthquake. The next blue line here, this is 1:39 this morning, or this afternoon, 9:39 this afternoon. Guys, this is another 2.8, 2.9 earthquake. Over here on the black line here, tremor activity. The green line just above it, we have some minor earthquakes, possibly 2.7, 2.8. This is Eastern Tennessee Seismic Zone. We're going to go north here. I want to go over into Kentucky now. Kentucky. Okay. Fulgham, Kentucky. Fulgham, Kentucky here. Look at this. Very quiet most of the morning. Again, this is the Eastern Continental Divide. Eastern Tennessee Seismic Zone here. And yet, this is 7:27 a.m. this morning. It's actually 7:28 this morning. 3.0 earthquake. Prior to that, we had 1.0 to 1.9 tremors here. All of a sudden, 3.0 earthquake here. Then more tremors until we get down here after 11:30. 11:35, almost 11:36. 2.9, 2.9, 3.0 earthquake. A 2.7, 2.8 earthquake a minute and a half later. Go figure. Eastern Tennessee seismic zone on the southern eastern part of the Eastern Continental Divide. This is Kentucky, Eastern Kentucky. I'm not done. I'm not done. Fulgham, Kentucky this afternoon. Look at this, guys. All we have here are minor tremors and one minor earthquake. One minor earthquake happens after 1:29 this afternoon. 2.0 minor earthquake. Nothing but tremors here. One more identification in Sacramento, Kentucky. Sacramento, Kentucky. Right here. Look at this. Sacramento, Kentucky. Yes, this is close to Fulgham, Kentucky as well. You see a comparison here? Earthquake activity here. Earthquake activity, guys. The southern Tennessee seismic zone on the southern end of the Eastern Continental Divide. Fascinating, huh? It truly is. But it doesn't stop there. It does not stop there. Let me show you something else. Now, I wasn't originally going to go over to the East Coast. If I didn't go over the East Coast, I would feel like I shame myself. Because on the East Coast, we have some earthquakes. East Coast, we have some earthquakes. I've told you why these earthquakes happen. Because the center part of the Atlantic Ocean, center part of the Atlantic plate is expanding like this. Expanding. It's pushing Europe and Africa in an easterly direction. It's pushing Greenland. It's pushing Canada, the United States, Mexico, Central America, and South America in a south-southwesterly direction. That's why we have earthquakes here on the New Matter Fault. That's why we have earthquakes here on the East Coast. Let's start down here in Skidway, Savannah, Georgia. Skidway Island, Savannah, Georgia here. With this. All kinds of tremors here. All kinds of tremors. Until we get down here after 10:23 a.m. this morning on the red line. Here we have a 3.0 earthquake, guys. 3.0 earthquake at 10:23 this morning. Then, after 10:30, another 3.0 earthquake. Savannah, Georgia. After 10:50 this morning, 10:50 this morning on the green line. 3.0 earthquakes, guys. 3.0 earthquakes back to back. 2.5 minutes later, we have a minor 2.8, 2.9. Savannah, Georgia. This is along the coastline here in Georgia. Savannah, Georgia this afternoon. The top left-hand side of the top line is 12 noon. The next blue line, we have another earthquake here. This would be, let's see, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 12:35 this afternoon. 3.2, 3.3 earthquake here. Savannah, Georgia. Yes, they do have earthquakes here in Georgia. All the time. Let's go down to Tipton, Georgia. Tipton, Georgia. Usually we have 3.0 earthquakes here, but today, all we see here today, after 10:30 are minor earthquakes. 2.0, 2.2 earthquake here. That's it. Tipton, Georgia, this morning. Now I want to go over to the Eastern Continental Divide in North Carolina. Dog Stamp, North Carolina. This is just west of where I live here in Morganton. This is just west of where I live here in Morganton. Guess what we had here at Dog Stamp? Yes, Dog Stamp. This is the name of a mountainside here in North Carolina. Dog Stamp, North Carolina. 9:16 this morning. Right before 9:17, we have a 2.0 earthquake here. Crazy. Crazy. Here in Morganton 4 years ago, we had a 4.5 earthquake here in Morganton 4 years ago. I felt it. They happen. Now, I want to go over Roper, North Carolina next. Roper, North Carolina. This is over on near the East Coast. Near the East Coast, North Carolina. This is where it's at. This is where Roper, North Carolina is. East Central North Carolina, along the coastline. Okay? Let me show you the earthquakes here in Roper, North Carolina. Right here. Okay? All we have here are tremors. That's it. Roper, North Carolina. But we've had minor earthquakes, 2.0, 2.9. We've had 3.0 earthquakes here in Roper, North Carolina before. They happen. All we have here today are tremors here this morning. But this afternoon, guess what? Look at this. From 12 noon to 1 p.m. this afternoon, tremors. Till 1:15 this afternoon, tremors. Then we come over 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes later, 1:19 p.m. this afternoon, 3.0 earthquake sequence here. Notice that they cut off the top and the bottom of the sequence. This could have been probably 3.3 earthquakes here. It's happened before. This is Roper, North Carolina this afternoon. Then after 1:45 this afternoon, another sequence of 3.3 earthquakes here. The top and the bottom of this sequence they cut off. 3.3 earthquakes here this afternoon. 1:45 this afternoon. Then we jump down here to 1:21, 1:22 this afternoon. More 3.0 sequence here. They cut off the top and the bottom of this one as well. Then we jump down here to 2:32 this afternoon. 3.2 earthquake here. Lasting about 30 seconds. 30-second earthquake. Then we go over here to the right-hand side. Now we're at 2:41 p.m. this afternoon. 3.2 earthquake here. Lasts about 5 to 7 seconds. On the next green line here, which would be 2:58 p.m. this afternoon. 3.2 earthquake here. It lasted 5 to 7 seconds. Roper, North Carolina. This is along the coastline, guys. This is along the coastline. I showed you that one in just west of Morganton at Dog Stamp. That's on the Eastern Continental Divide. Okay? Rowland, North Carolina is next. Rowland, R-O-W-A-L-N-D. This is in southern North Carolina, near the coastline. Okay? Guess what? 9:01 a.m. this morning. 2.9, 3 points earthquake. We go over to the right. 2.7, 2.8 earthquake this morning. Again, this is 9:05 this morning. Rolla, North Carolina. Southeastern North Carolina. Now let's go over east of me. Actually, north of me. North of me. North of me, from Morganton, North Carolina, we go to Taylorsville. Taylorsville is about a 45-minute trip. Taylorsville, this morning. Term activity for the most part. Term activity for the most part. Until we get over here to 10 a.m. More term activity. Lots more term activity here. It builds up. Before that, it's basically the seismographs have been turned down, not recording much of anything. Then after 10 o'clock this morning, the seismograph starts recording information. Term activity. 1.3, 1.4, 1.5 tremors here. That's it. Taylorsville, North Carolina, north of me. Now, Taylorsville, North Carolina this afternoon, nothing but tremors here. Microquakes and tremors here at all. That's all. Okay? I want to drop down to Sumter, South Carolina. Sumter, South Carolina. What could happen here this morning? Okay? Sumter, Lugoff, South Carolina typically have earthquakes here literally all day long. But in this case today, all that happened was this afternoon. This morning. Here this morning. After 9:45 this morning. 9:50 this morning, 3 points earthquake. Lasts about 3 to 4 seconds. Come over here to the right. This is 9:56 this morning. Another 3 points earthquake here. Sumter, South Carolina. Lugoff is just south of Sumter, southeast of Sumter. USGS sometimes lists Lugoff, Carolina on the map, that's all, or South Carolina. They don't put this here usually. They're not showing anything along the coastline of eastern United States at all. Nothing. They're not listing anything at all. That's a travesty. It happens. Happens all the time. Now, guys, do you have any questions about earthquakes here in the United States at all? I've shown you the United States. I've shown you all over the world. Basically all over the world. Okay? Happening. All the time. Okay? Any questions? Demon Catman, one of my dearest friends, is here on the chat. He's been here on the chat almost all morning or afternoon. Sorry about that, all afternoon. No, I'm not having a hard time discerning between afternoon and this morning and this afternoon. Now, guys, I come to the end of our program. I come here and talk about Jesus Christ. I talk about spiritual matters. Okay? I'm going to Acts chapter 16. Okay? Here Paul is directed to in a vision, to preach in Macedonia. Okay? He casts out an evil spirit out of a woman. He and Silas are imprisoned for talking about Jesus Christ. They convert the jailer. Paul and Silas convert the jailer. They admonished all people to believe on the Lord Jesus Christ and be saved. And verses 4 and 5 here in chapter 16. And as they went through the cities, they delivered the decrees for to keep that were ordained of the apostles and elders, which were at Jerusalem. And so were the churches established in the faith, and it increased in numbers daily. Brothers and sisters, the gospel of Jesus Christ is true. The gospel of Jesus Christ is true. Even after Christ's death, the gospel flourished for quite some time until the Jews and other people Jews and Romans killed off the apostles. Then there was a falling away of the gospel for years and years. Then the churches came back. Churches came back. Guys, the gospel of Jesus Christ is true. Yes, the scriptures were written 2,000 plus years ago. That's a fact. But guess what? The scriptures still remain the same. They still reflect the gospel of Jesus Christ. As I've been doing, I've been urging you to develop a testimony for yourselves of Jesus Christ. Read the scriptures and pray for yourself. Ask God yourself whether what he's telling you in the scriptures is true. I'm going to testify to you that it is. It is the truthfulness of the gospel of Jesus Christ. Read yourself the scriptures. Then pray about it. I know you'll get an answer through the Holy Ghost. I promise you that. Now, guys, I love you. I do. I truly do. That's why we're here. The Lord told us to love each other even as we loved him, as he loved the church. May God bless you. May God be with you this day and always. May God be with you till we meet again. We'll see you on the other side, guys. See you tomorrow afternoon after 4 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. If something else happens between now and then, we'll come back on the air to talk about it as soon as the information becomes available. But remember, if the United States does not come to some agreement with Iran, all heck is going to break loose in Iran. Trump has promised at least 4 hours of bombings in Iran, and he will destroy Iran. He and Israel will destroy Iran because other people in the Middle East will be destroyed by Iran if they don't do it. Okay? That's a fact. May God bless us all. May God bless the people of Iran. May God bless the people of the Middle East, Kuwait, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Bahrain, that whole Middle East area, including Israel. May God bless them all. God be with us all until we meet again. We may meet sometime after 8 p.m. tonight, depending on what happens. God be with us until we meet again, guys. I promise you that. We'll see you soon. God bless.
Here at Emergency Management Associates, we're dedicated and true, bringing you the essential knowledge, helping you see things through. From disaster preparedness to navigating recovery's embrace, we're here to guide you in every unpredictable time and place. We break down the complex, make it easy to grasp and absorb, sharing strategies for safety, the vital lessons you can't afford to hoard. So thank you for watching, and thank you so much for your sub. You're a key part of our growing family, a member of our knowledge club. With every like, every share, and every comment you send our way, our critical message spreads further, helping more people every single day. Together we're stronger and more prepared. That's the truth we all abide. You help us build resilience with nowhere for uncertainty to hide. Your engagement truly inspires us. Your feedback acts as a guiding light, helping us continually grow and making our channel's future bright. We're always learning